Welcome back in, loyal KEW fans. We're just, as always, checking that we have indeed got a live stream on the roll. And there we go, we do indeed. And we'll get things kicked off, ladies and gentlemen, here with James the Cat taking on the BFG in a cage match. We'll come back to James the Cat and the BFG in due course, but first of all, whilst they make their entrances, let's discuss what happened last week on KEW, an explosive end to things, ladies and gentlemen, which saw the Man Crusher taking the title off of the Shinigami. She was the #1 contender, and let me just repeat that, ladies and gentlemen. She was the #1 contender after defeating the Assassin in a gauntlet match. The Assassin almost running the full length of that gauntlet, knocked out at the last minute by the Man Crusher. The Man Crusher then comes in, #1 contender, and she goes up against the Shinigami. It looked like a foregone conclusion at one point, ladies and gentlemen, with the Shinigami set to successfully defend. And then, midway through the match, Tanj cashes in the briefcase, storms down to the ring, and we saw last season that the Plowman, who was the briefcase holder, cashed in and did not do it successfully. We commented on it once Tanj had cashed in and hoped that he could have a little more success than he saw last season, but he cocked it up royally, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute complete backfire for him. Loses out with his briefcase, tries to cash in and steal it in a fatal three-way. The Man Crusher regains a semblance in the match, gives him a man-crushing kiss into the mat. And my goodness me, got the 3 count whilst the Shinigami was busy trying to power up via his Dark Lords on the outside. The Shinigami not happy with Tanj with the distraction, and Tanj not happy with the Shinigami either. Neither one, I'm sure, will be happy with the Man Crusher, who they'll feel have stolen the title off of them, and they will be out for a measure of revenge, I dare say. But we have only a small few weeks between now and the next main pay-per-view, and Tanj and the Shinigami will be up against each other later this evening, but we'll focus our attention back here for now then, ladies and gentlemen, as the BFG makes his way to the ring in what has become a bitter and heated rivalry between these two. And the pair of them look like they're gearing up here, ladies and gentlemen, and setting their sights on our next main pay-per-view, which is only a week away now. Of course, have our KEW this week, KEW next week on the Thursday, and then we will be live Sunday, of course, with all the action as the Monsters Mash gets underway. And there were, of course, once allies, these two, and James the Cat and the BFG have since then turned their back on one another, and immediately James the Cat explodes out of the corner and DDTs the BFG down and drop kicks him swiftly there as well. And we know, of course, this one all really started when James the Cat was given that pile driver by King Daddy, put him in the concussion protocol, and he lost out on the Hardcore Championship opportunity. Then the BFG pretty much filling in for him at the main pay-per-view, stole the title, if you like, off the Assassin, getting the pin in the ring and defeating the 3 other men there to become the Hardcore Champion again. And since then, James the Cat has been livid with his former tag team partner, and the pair of them have been at complete odds with one another. Real discourse between the two of them. We saw last week, of course, the BFG defeating James the Cat in pretty swift and succinct fashion. Oh, I don't know about that. It was a slobber knocker. Now they're at it again inside the steel cage, and the BFG has said his Hardcore Championship will be on the line Sunday, and we'll have to wait and see whether they can keep their hands off each other before then, or whether there'll be another match between the pair of them in the interim. The BFG going for an early cover with the legs on the ropes here, gets a 1 count there, and James the Cat kicks out early doors. He, of course, has been pinned by the ropes before. I think last time around he was pinned by the BFG off the ropes, and of course lost the KEW title to Mark by being pinned off the ropes. And now the BFG looks like he might be trying to escape via the top of the cell. He's had enough of trying to go for a pin victory. James the Cat catches him cold and drops the BFG like a large sack of potatoes to the middle of the ring, going for the knee lock, working it now. I have to excuse any drops in commentary here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having a afternoon cup of tea whilst recording this. Nasty leg break there on the BFG, ramming the head of him into the KEW's matted arena. Oh, he's screaming to the KEW fans, big shots to the noggin, and the BFG looks down and woozy here, ladies and gentlemen. Is James the Cat going to look to put things away early doors? Into the corner goes the BFG. I did wonder if he might look to polish him off with a stunner onto the second rope. Moonsault there! Good high-flying ability from James the Cat. Hooks a leg for the cover. Referee slow with the count for James. He seems a lot faster for the BFG. We'll have to see if that continues as we get to the Monster Mash pay-per-view coming up. We'll see these two getting their hands on one another in a hardcore championship match. So James the Cat can get all his favourite toys from under the ring, and I'm sure the BFG will be more than happy to corroborate that as well and give James the Cat whatever of a demolishing with he sees fit. Shots to the spine there, and a stunner from James the Cat. Goes for the cover now. Is that enough to put the BFG away? Again, a slow count from the referee. Gets the 3 count. And James the Cat pulls out a victory there, having been crushed by the BFG last week. The BFG didn't really turn up to that one. James the Cat started fast, explosive in that one. Came charging out of the ranks, ladies and gentlemen. And has come through here with a solid victory in the steel cage. We'll have to see whether he can keep that momentum up and whether he can secure his second championship in his KEW career, as he looks for a hardcore title against the BFG coming up soon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll move to our next match for the evening. You might have seen in the cards there as well. We'll talk about our other matches as we get the introductions here. It's a rivalry, this one, that we've seen go on and on 4 weeks in the KEW. The pair of them just want to get their hands on one another. No winner in the iron table match, so Mark has demanded a Extreme Rules match with his arch nemesis Benji. Benji more than happy to accept it. He is fed up with dealing with the little man. He's ready to put him behind him. And they are, of course, on the cards for the pay-per-view. Potentially, we'll have to see if they come through this one unscathed. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want any last-minute injuries to any of our star KEW athletes. This lated feud between the two comes, of course, from Mark not happy at Benji winning the title against him all the way back at the end of the first series of KEW, and he's not let it go since. He's demanded revenge against Benji, and he says he wants to polish him off, finish his career, and he'll look to do that here tonight, I dare say, ladies and gentlemen, with whatever damage he can, and then maybe get a new opponent for himself at the pay-per-view if possible. We do have a special match this evening, though, ladies and gentlemen. Not just the Tanji and the Shinigami coming up after this. The two of them getting their hands on each other. Or a absolute slobber knocker that could be. We do have a tag team title match. I know many of you will say, oh, good, there's the Coven's opportunity. They've been knocking on the door and asking for it. But ladies and gentlemen, in a swift turn of events here, we've had a exchange of nasty tweets on Twitter over the last few weeks, in between the Man Crusher taking the title and telling the Assassin that he's not up to snuff. The Assassin, of course, rebutting with that, saying, I should have been the #1 contender. You were lucky to beat me in the Iron Man. I went for everybody else. That should have been me in that #1 contenders match, and I would have knocked off the Tanj. I would have knocked off the Shinigami. The Man Crusher retorting to that, saying, if you think you can beat me, put your tag team title on the line. I'll take both off of you and show you who's who. Of course, the Assassin, they're the one to back down from a challenge. And it has led to a championship match, with the Coven still being the #1 contender, so the Coven could have a real opportunity coming up in a few weeks here, ladies and gentlemen. In the main pay-per-view, they could be facing the combination of the Man Crusher and the Torpedo, the power couple that they are, for the tag team titles, or they could be facing the Falcon and the Eagle if they successfully defend later this evening. And that one coming up live for you later, ladies and gentlemen. And currently we've seen Mark here try and start early, but Benji's looked to take a measure of control here, stomping on the wrists now of the little fella. And as I mentioned in a few previous episodes, you can see a real change in demeanour in Benji, it seems. Recently in the KEW, Mark's a explosive athlete when he gets going. Benji, the slower of the two, really, has a more technical style, likes to slow the matches down and really wear his opponent out. As you can see, he's trying to do that early doors here to Mark, targeting the wrist. And Benji, though, in recent weeks has been much more aggressive in his assaults and has tried to really take Mark down as much as he can in the matches, but Mark has often bounced back in his face. The two of them are very evenly matched when they get in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. There's never much to choose between the two of them. Mark called a little cold there as he picked Benji up. He goes out to the outside now, and this is of course an Extreme Rules match. I'm sure Benji will be under the ring for some hardware, and here's that new hardcore mentality that Benji has. Pulls the table out and throws it into the face of Mark on the floor, and now taking the applause of the KEW faithful who are cheering on the Red Ranger as he gets a stomp into Mark. And now Benji has the arm behind the back here. Well, this is similar to Mark's style of sacrifice with the arm. Benji that pinned behind. Stomping on the elbow there, doing the severe damage to the little fella's arms. Maybe trying to weaken any sort of power that he may have as he falls down next to the KEW barricade. You can see the fans there pumped for this one. It's been a bit of a non-event so far. It's been all Benji as he misses that elbow there, though. Mark with a running drop kick has almost no effect on Benji, and now throws Mark back into the ring here. Maybe Benji's looking to get done early doors here. Mark, though, charges up quickly there. Goes for the cover on Benji after a little kick as he tried to roll in the ring. Maybe thinking he'd given him a concussion early doors there. Looked like he was going to have a word with the referee. Benji swiftly back to his feet. Mark off the ropes. Catches Benji cold in the middle of it. And down with a face buster there goes Benji. That was a very aggressive sneeze there as there's a massive crossbody from Mark. It was a good job you didn't hear it at home, ladies and gentlemen. I muted my microphone so you didn't have to deal with the sound effects in the background there. Nasty low drop kick from Mark, trying to target those weak knees of Benji, but Benji up swiftly from it. Maybe he's got some secret braces on under his tight-fitting jean pants. Now throws Mark onto the floor, says, "You like being stomped on the chest, have some yourself." Goes for the cover now on Mark, does Benji. Gets a 1 count there. Mark says he's got plenty left in the tank here. Benji now going to the outside. Mark slow back to his feet there. I wonder if Mark was maybe trying to lure him into a false sense of security as Benji pulls the ladder out, and you can see now Mark strutting his stuff in the ring as Benji gets the ladder set up. What dark devices does Benji have for that ladder? Mark letting Benji roll back into the ring. There's a poor move from Benji really. He comes close to clattering into that ladder. Mark's obviously got something in the mind here. Charges and now goes out of the ring at the top of it. He's going to look for his own hardware under the ring. Is this going to be his favourite steel chair? He pulls a ladder out instead. I did wonder if we might go chair if he had it. The KEW faithful were chanting that they want the tables. In goes the ladder into the ring as the little fella hops over and lands on top of the ladder, looking to get hold of Benji. Lured him in there, and net breakers him down on top of the ladder and drop kicks him now right in the back of the head. Going after the arms now as well. Mark dishing out a measure of revenge there from the early assault from Benji. He goes for the kick to the guts. Benji catches it and gives him a Clobosaurusing kick to the face, driving Mark down to the mat here. Sells as before he can be a sit-down neck breaker there, just a regular neck breaker for Mark, dragging him down to the matting. That ladder in dangerous position now, and here he comes off the ropes. The butt smash there from Benji, straight to the face of Mark, hooks the leg. Just a 2 count. Mark with the shoulder up there, but you can see he's gripping the ribs, and this is going to be Benji looking to put things away and get Mark to tap here. Gets hold of him, spins him around, has hold of him from behind, down he goes, wraps around him like an octopus with his prey, wrapping around Mark now, doesn't give up, and the referee forces the break pretty swiftly there, or maybe Benji gave up on it, and now Benji going out, and again it's that new mentality of Benji. He's not just happy to do the damage, he wants to really inflict punishment wherever he can. Here comes the trash can, teeters off the ladder there, and Mark looks forlorn on the floor and like he's completely spent here. Benji unable to figure out quite what he wants to do next, letting Mark climb back to his feet and gives him the little shot to the back there before he can get up, and the knee shot to the face. His head was dangerously close to that ladder on the edge of the ring. Goes for the cover now. 1, 2, 3, puts Mark away pretty swiftly and securely there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought Mark might have a bit more fight left in him, but an easy 1, 2, 3 in the end for Benji there. Good victory for him. He'll take that as a good sign of form moving into the next main pay-per-view. Will him and Mark be facing off again? We'll have to wait and see. Could it be the opportunity for one of them to put the rivalry to bed once and for all? We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll move then to our next match for the evening, which has of course seen a disturbing rivalry emerging between these two. The Tanj, of course, electing where he can to turn up with the blonde-eyed hair, mocking the Shinigami, and the Shinigami not happy to it. Tanj, of course, tried to steal the title last season up at the Shinigami ringside with a blonde wig, perhaps thinking nobody would notice him, and last week, of course, cashed in the briefcase, causing that man there, the Shinigami, to lose his title as the Man Crusher pinned Tanj. He will be aggrieved, will the Shinigami, that he wasn't able to get the victory. He will see as Tanj as a complete distraction and a nuisance in his path and quest to victory. He will say as well, of course, the Man Crusher didn't pin him. The Man Crusher couldn't beat him in the ring. The only reason the Man Crusher is the champion is because of Tanj's shortcomings. The thing he doesn't realise, though, is whilst he was on the outside trying to deal with his own dark powers and power himself up, the Man Crusher was too busy in the ring demolishing Tanj. And it's a demolition job that man climbing in the ring is going to look to continue here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Shinigami ready and raring to go for this one. I'm sure he will not take the Tanj lightly, and is the Tanj going to start to experience another Tanj slump? We saw one at the end of last season that he swiftly recovered from to reclaim the title in glorious and emphatic form. But at the start of this season, since losing that championship, we've barely seen him. And when we did see him, and he cashed a briefcase in after getting a prolonged rest, wasted the opportunity, pinned by the Man Crusher. The Tanj man, embarrassed, looks cocky and confident as he comes out here, but I'm sure his ego will be bruised. He will not have seen that as a good opportunity to get that cash in. I'm sure he will be aggrieved with himself for that one. And we of course know how much the Shinigami enjoys a ambulance match. This one not an ambulance one though. You have to wonder if the Shinigami will request a ambulance match against that man at the next main pay-per-view. The Tanj raises his arms high into the smoky KEW arena. And off go the pyrotechnics once more. The man is of course draining the KEW's budget with his pyrotechnics, his lights, giving people seizures in the ring, flashing around as wickedly and as fast as they can. It's going to all kinds of lawsuits, but we don't care, we're here for the wrestling. And here comes the Tanj and the Shinigami. Shinigami quickly out around the back of the Tanj, rams his head into the corner turnbuckle there, and then launches him across the ring and goes after him with an aggressive assault again, lifting him high, choking him here as the Tanj battles back as much as he can, and now flips him down and goes for the reverse Boston Crab early doors, trying to put the pressure on and get the Shinigami to tap, but no such joy with that as the Shinigami flips his way out of that one and is now sent into the corner by the Tanj. Tanj climbing up on top of him now, shoves the Tanj out of the corner, and the running drop kick right in the face of the Tanj man, driving him down to the ground. A big shot from the right as well, now gets hold of the Tanj by the back of the head and reverse suplexes him down onto the ground. The power on display from the Shinigami, of course one of the more powerful roster wrestlers in the KEW, and stomping his way around the Tanj now. They are two opponents that match up well from the perspective that they do like to work it slower around the ring against one another. Flips the Tanj over now, and a little shot to the ankle. Tanj back to his feet swiftly though from that one. Enough of the punishment, he says, but only for the Shinigami to regain a measure of control by taking the Tanj into the corner. You can see the anger and the frustration that the Shinigami has here, and perhaps the Tanj coming into the ring too cocky and cocksure, didn't really catch the drift of what the Shinigami had in store for him, and hasn't really got to grips with him early doors here yet. This has been all the Shinigami with the demonic kiss. Down he goes, hooks the leg, 1, 2, Oh, and 2 there, and the Shinigami does not look happy. Tanj rolls out of the ring, but the Shinigami sees it coming, and now look at this, praising his Dark Lord just above the Tanj. Maybe he's planning a sacrifice right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen, stomping on the head of the Tanj, trying to crush that large melon. Maybe some type of cantaloupe, if you like. Into the steel steps he goes. You can see clutching the ribs there. It's being a demolition here of the Tanj by the Shinigami. Whips him down around the edge and charges after him again. Oh, and the big backdrop there, crushing the ribs of the Tanj, looking to do the damage. You can see the Shinigami getting up and holding his back there, though, as he rolls in under the bottom rope. Now up to a 5 count with the referee. The referee saying, anytime you want to get back in the ring, be my guest. The Shinigami not waiting for the full count. Big splash on the outside, crushing the ribs of the Tanj, and then going straight back after that large cantaloupe or honeydew, and Tanj sees it coming though, and a big shot to the ribs. That's hold of the Shinigami in the back now. The Shinigami reverses it and almost sent him into the steps again. Goes for the crushing backdrop but misses entirely. Not quite making contact with the stairs as the Tanj takes the Shinigami and throws him back in the ring. A wise choice from the Tanj to break the momentum, but the Shinigami's up a lot faster. Tanj sees that coming though. Look like Shinigami might have been going for some type of chop there, and the Tanj getting the first hit in. The Shinigami missing his chop there. Now, I thought he was going to go for the choke slam, but the Tanj again seeing it coming at the last minute and breaking that up, and now the Shinigami sees his hit coming and gets it off of him. Puts him in the corner now. Nobody puts Tanjus in the corner except this behemoth of a man who's now choking him out in the corner as he slumps down to the bottom of the ring, and now choking him again. The Shinigami all over him here, letting out all that frustration and anger at losing the KEW title. On top of the Tanj, rolls him over now and goes for the pinfall. Just a 2 count as Tanj gets a shoulder up. I'm not so sure the Tanj had much left there, and you can see the Shinigami looks absolutely enraged, but the Tanj up now, explosive clothesline and another one, and the Shinigami misses that one, and the body slam there, vintage Tanj, as he comes exploding out of the blocks, and now the furious left to the head of the Shinigami. Picks him back up to his feet now, puts him on the ropes here, drags him over. We've seen this many a time before. Has a look around, a cheeky look at the KEW faithful, and then drives his head square into the centre of the ring there. And could this be the switch in momentum that we've seen in a Tanj's match? As you can see, the pace of the match slowing down to suit the Tanj's style. Pounds the matting, Tanj knockout blow. Down goes the Shinigami, goes for the cover, both legs hooked. 2. And Shinigami kicks out at the last second there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that might have been enough from the Tanj after getting the Tanj knockout out of nowhere. Now pushes him down to the ground off the bottom rope, stomping on the chest. Again, you can see that slower pace compared to the Mark and Benji match, which was a much faster, much more explosive affair. This much slower in tempo and pace. 2 real heavyweights colliding here, battling with one another. Tanj picks up the Shinigami now, has hold of him and launches him over across the top of him again, taking a little delay there to show off his power perhaps to the KEW faithful. Picks up the Shinigami onto all fours now, big shot to the spine, drives the Shinigami down, whips the arm out and stomps on the arm now as well, now taking in the revelry of the crowd. The Shinigami rolling around, holding his wrist. Maybe this is the Tanj's plan, go after the wrist, then he can't choke slam you, but he's targeting the wrong one. He's right-handed, Tanj, not left-handed. You're stomping on the wrong wrist, lad. He's up to the top turnbuckle, he's climbing now, making his way up there and diving off a big elbow, crushing the air out to the Shinigami, hooks the leg, going for the cover, and all 3 here, 2, 3, and there it is. The Tanj pulls out the victory, a cracking victory for the Tanj. You'll have enjoyed that one, ladies and gentlemen. Strolling around the ring. Now, the Shinigami's down in the centre of the ring, and the Tanj, maybe he's going to look to prove a point here. His music's gone off. Where's he going now, ladies and gentlemen? He's pulled a ladder out from under the ring. This is not necessary from the Tanj, but he just wants to prove a point here, it looks like. Has hold of the ladder and assaults the Shinigami with it. Ladder to the face. And now stands forlorn over the Shinigami's body on the middle of the KEW arena, where there was no need for that from Tanj. He'd already defeated the Shinigami. Maybe he's letting out some frustration at his poorly timed cash-in. I said he looked cool, calm and composed coming into the ring. He looked anything like it there.
in the last few seconds of that one, maybe letting out the frustration that, of course, that person there, the Man Crusher, has taken the KEW title off of him when he got his cash in and got it horribly wrong. The Assassin, though, coming very swiftly after that belt. I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's plenty of friction here between the two of them. And we'll have to see if there's a change in hands in the tag team titles. The Man Crusher, I'm a little shocked, to be honest, that the Man Crusher got this one signed off by the CEO, being as the CEO knows that the main pay-per-view is only a few weeks away. Perhaps he doesn't see them as a threat at all. And perhaps he sees it as a complete fluke that the Man Crusher was able to take the championship. As here comes the power couple. And it does look there as if the Man Crusher hasn't brought the belt with her to the ring. She's ready to put a new belt around her waist, potentially. She knows that she's one match away now from a historic moment in the KEW. Nobody has ever won the KEW main title and gone on to be a tag team champion. Nobody has ever been a tag team champion and gone on to win the main title either. Doesn't matter which way round you phrase it. She could be in for making history here tonight with that man. The man of her dreams, the Torpedo. We of course questioned whether they were completely harmonious. He had the distractions last week with the Budget Magician getting in her ear, defeating the Torpedo while she was ringside and special guest referee. And since she went on to win the KEW title later that evening, perhaps that focused her attention on what she needed to focus on, herself and her own career. Not focused on her man, her partner. And they look ready and focused now, though. We'll have to see how harmonious that partnership is, as there are the focused eyes of the Assassin. He looks angry, he looks mean, he knows that he should have been the one there, almost ran the gauntlet, almost was the number one contender. He may not be 100% happy with his tag team partner, who is of course the CEO. He makes all the big decisions. He may say to him, why wasn't I given the opportunity for the KEW title? But he will be focused, I'm sure, on things and the matter and task at hand here, defending those KEW titles against the power couple here. Well, I'm sure the power couple will look at this as a real gift, a real opportunity. They're not even on the power rankings really, they're almost at the bottom of them. I think the Men of Science are even one above them, bottom of the power rankings in the tag divisions. The Coven fuming with the power couple. That's never a good place to be if you are the power couple, having the Coven fuming at you. And those tag team titles will be on the line. The Coven, of course, will have to abide their time, and they know that they'll get the shot at the main pay-per-view. It's just who that shot will be against.
Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 408 pounds.
408 pounds of prime muscle and mass there. The Man Crusher and the Torpedo taking on, of course, Big Bird and the Assassin, the Falcon and the Eagle, the most dominant tag team in the KEW, it has to be said. You have to say the Assassin made the right choice to team up with Big Bird, and likewise you can see the Torpedo there giving the stink eye immediately to anybody who's eyeballing his lady. We'll have to see if that proves to be the case throughout the match here. It seems that we're going to get the match we want early doors, ladies and gentlemen. The Assassin taking on the Man Crusher. The Man Crusher, of course, defeating the Assassin in that gauntlet match, which earned her the number one contender spot, and they gave her the tag team title, and immediately going for the tag here to the Torpedo, getting the Assassin in the corner as the little axe handle drop onto the arm of the Assassin, onto the shoulders he goes, and oh, big flipping Samoan drive there sideways, driving the assassin into his spine, and it's a good early start from the Torpedo now. He's of course used to tag team action, was part of the Misfits before he left them to join up with his sweetie pie, as he calls her, the Man Crusher. And there's been a poor decision so far, other than the fact that now the Man Crusher is the KEW champion, and they're doing well here early doors, isolating the assassin, the big face drag there, and you can see Big Bird trying to get the tag in, the Man Crusher blocking off his route. She could become one of the KEW's most dominant athletes, ladies and gentlemen. In very short time, she's gone from academy graduate to tagged up with one of the lesser experienced athletes in the Torpedo, to now KEW champion. And here, look at this, the battling elbow out of the corner, but the shot to the ribs from the assassin, and another one. I thought for a minute she might have got herself out of this dangerous predicament here, and the Torpedo's watching Oz as the assassin batters his lady in the top corner. I don't think he'll be happy about that. And Poison Rana out of the corner. Goodness gracious me, what a reversal in fortunes there by the assassin. It's the kind of thing that he needed. Springboarding around with a nice DDT there, driving the Man Crusher down to the floor, and the shot to the spine. Now the assassin's getting a bit of momentum going here after being slow out of the gate early doors, seeing the Man Crusher and the Torpedo dominate the early going, but sloppy wrestling from the assassin. Manages to get the Hurricanrana off in time though. You can see the Torpedo desperate for the tag there, trying to save his sweetie pie, as he likes to call her. One of the cutesy other nicknames he has, as the Man Crusher takes the opportunity to roll out of the ring for a breather, and Big Bird climbs out of the ring and rushes round to go and meet her. This is going to be power on power, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the shoulder charge, down goes Man Crusher. You can see the pair of them enjoy the time in the ring and in the gym together, both Big Bird and the Man Crusher. They do know each other fairly well. So, they're workout buddies, and the splits there across the face of the Big Bird there. I'm not so sure the Torpedo would have enjoyed that one. Seeing Big Bird getting a face full of the crotch of the Man Crusher there. Now look at this, walking over the spine of the CEO. That's disrespect in its highest form there, ladies and gentlemen. Into the corner goes the CEO now, and again it's a good early start here from the Man Crusher. She's really impressing us. Big face buster out of the corner, driving him down to the matting. He's up swiftly to his feet, but only again into the grasp of the Man Crusher, only to be reversed and thrown into the corner. And now he's bear hugging her and crushing her in the corner, and German flips her over. I was going to say German suplex, but I knew that wasn't right. Now taking the time to show the guns off to the crowd, and can she get the tag in? She's crawling towards the Torpedo, but he doesn't look like he wants to know, and he's doing more workouts here. Here's Big Bird as a Man Crusher slow back to her feet, showing off the guns here, and gets a measure of space that she needed, the Man Crusher, and catches Big Bird showing off too much to the announce table and too much to the KEW faithful. Up she goes, split legs off the top rope. No, Hurricanrana's him down. Good athleticism from the KEW champion. Goes for the cover. The assassin charging across the ring there. I'm not so sure he needed to break up the pinfall really, but he's taking the opportunity to. That seems a little early and hasty from the assassin. Good tag here, getting in the Torpedo off the ropes. Goes the CEO now, and a big backdrop incoming, driving him down to the ground, and the Man Crusher will look to get a little breather in here and allow the Torpedo to do some damage. A little elbow driven across the chest of the CEO, but the CEO gets a tag in, and now the assassin in with a little cheeky shot straight to the face of the Torpedo. He sees the second one coming though, and now explodes with more furious hits, and a big headbutt there, driving the assassin down to the ground. Switches his attention to Big Bird and launches him onto the ropes and kicks him in the face. Now I don't know if he knows who's legal. I'm not so sure the tag come in. He seems to be focusing too much on Big Bird. Gets hold of him now and whipped into the corner by Big Bird. The assassin charges over to the corner, but wants more of the Man Crusher than he does, getting hold of the Torpedo, and the Torpedo breaks it up, saves his sweetheart just in time. But now the assassin going back after a furious hits here. The Torpedo back in the ring in time to break it up before she can take too much damage on the apron from the assassin. She looked a little caught cold there by the assassin. The assassin, of course, ready and willing to do the damage to whoever he needs in order to get the victory, and goes for the tag now to Big Bird. I'm not so sure I would have let the Big Bird back in the ring quite so soon if that was me. And the Torpedo now gets hold of Big Bird and puts him in the corner. The Big Bird a little unassuming there, and the drive there from the Torpedo, showing the power off. He was only a small man, but lifting the bigger man clean off the floor, and again a 1 count, and the Assassin's in immediately to try and deal with this one. You can tell the Assassin is amped up and not focused on the task at hand properly at all here. He seems very eager, very keen, and completely all over the shop. Into the corner now goes the Torpedo. And the CEO had a little glance there at the Assassin on the edge of the ropes here, gets the tag in. Oh, they're going to look to put the Torpedo away. Up to the second rope goes the Assassin with the axe handle on the Torpedo's arm. The Torpedo looked like was trying to run out of the way of harm there. And into the ropes he goes now, and the Assassin again missing his chance. Now gets a drop kick in right up the arse, right in the coccyx. That's not one that you want. And now he's going for the furious shots to the ribs. Is the Torpedo, and the forearm to the face here, choking the Assassin now on the floor. He is a dangerous athlete, the Torpedo, going after the Assassin again. I think the Assassin might either be underestimating him, or the Assassin's just so wound up with seeing the Man Crusher in the corner and knowing that he lost that gauntlet match fair and square and there's nothing that Big Bird could do. Maybe that has wound up the Assassin so much that he's unable to let it go here, ladies and gentlemen. Spinning around now, the Assassin though has the submission locked in, wrenching the arm of the Torpedo, but he rolls out of that swiftly there. You can see he holds the bicep for a little bit there though, but gives him an uppercut with the other arm and doesn't allow the tag to come in. Good work from the Torpedo. Surely he's got to look to get the tag in sooner or later to the Man Crusher though. Get the fresh athlete into the ring here. That would be the wise move to do. Off the ropes goes the Assassin now. A couple of little hits there. Gets him on the shoulder. And he's going to go for a pedo driver. Down he goes. Is he going to go for the cover? He's not. I can't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. I thought he'd go for the cover. The Assassin looks forlorn. He tags in the Man Crusher. And maybe the Man Crusher is just going to come in. Oh, and look at this. She's waving at him on the floor. Pure disrespect from the Man Crusher. She's already beat him in the gauntlet. She comes into the ring when he's forlorn on the floor. A tag from her man. She waves to him. I can't believe the brashness. And here comes the Assassin's Edge. Hooks the legs. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. Torpedo slow into the ring onto a 2. Broken up, though, by the Torpedo at the last second there. I'm not so sure if he broke it up or if the Man Crusher kicked out. Either way, they got themselves out of it. And they were fortunate too there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that might have been it. Now gets the tag in to the CEO. And we might be a spear away from this one being done, ladies and gentlemen. The CEO across the ring swiftly gets the Man Crusher back to her feet. She looks dazed and confused here. And that'll teach her for waving at the Assassin, lording it over him with the tag team titles on the line. You don't take it casual when you've got tag team title opportunity on the line. The CEO, oh, the big splash on the spine. I thought that the Man Crusher might be trying to crawl for the tag, and now I thought he was going to tag back in. The Assassin there looks like he's ready for a spear. Oh no, she caught him. DDT's him down to the ground. She catches the spear midway through of the older athlete. She saw him coming. He didn't have the speed or the ferociousness necessary. She sees it coming. DDT's him into the floor. And now could this be the shift in momentum? Is this going to be a historic moment on the cards in the KEW, ladies and gentlemen? Are the Man Crusher and the Torpedo going to secure tag team gold and become the first KEW champions / tag team champions? Going around, gets hold of the Big Bird, oh, spikes him down off the floor with a vicious DDT. Goes for the cover now, hooking the leg, legs on the rope. The Assassin's in to break it up, seeing the cheating tactics in play, and the Torpedo turns his attention to the Assassin, but the Assassin now, having broken that one up, won't be able to get back in the ring, and surely now the Torpedo has the advantage. Tells the Big Bird to get back to his feet in the corner, perhaps just trying to G up his tag team partner. Misses the kick there as the CEO sees it coming, taking too long, but the massive uppercut there from the Torpedo drives him down, and now will the Torpedo look to put the CEO away? Whips him into the corner, but reversed at the last second by Big Bird, who has him now trapped in his own corner, whilst the Man Crusher looks on, getting a breather on the outside, a measure of rest for her there right in front of her man. Now look at this, he's showing off, ramming the elbows in, and oh, she wants to tag, but the CEO says no tags incoming. Gets hold of the Man Crusher on the outside, lifts her hind, back breakers her right on the edge of the apron, isolating the Torpedo. And again, the momentum has shifted in this one. The Torpedo's back to his feet, and now the CEO has him, kicks him in the guts, whips him onto the shoulder, slams him down face first. Norris broke him in half here, hooks the leg for the cover. 2. Oh, the Torpedo somehow gets a shoulder up. I thought it would have been enough to put him away here, ladies and gentlemen. The Man Crusher's slow back to her feet, and Big Bird poised on the edge of the apron. Oh, he went for the spear, misses again. I can't believe he's missed 2 in a row. DDT'd off the first one and out of the way like a matador for the second from the Torpedo. Massive uppercut, tags in the Man Crusher, and now are we a Man Crushing kiss away from seeing this one wrapped up, ladies and gentlemen. Picks up Big Bird, gets him back to his feet, whips him into the corner, and looked like the Torpedo had hold of him. Oh, massive spinning heel kick, drives him down to the floor, and now she looks poised here, ladies and gentlemen. We saw this move, put away the Tange. Is it going to put away Big Bird? No, he stops it at the last second, breaking up the momentum of the Man Crusher and getting her off of him at the last second. You can see there the Torpedo looks dead on his feet in the corner as well. The tag in to the Assassin, who's must be fresh and rested. The Man Crusher's back to her feet, but only to get Hurricanrana down to the ground, and it's the tag that was needed. And the Assassin now pumping up the crowd. Has the Torpedo got anything left in the tank to get in? Because this is going to be the Assassin Jed for the pinfall. The Torpedo's in, breaks it up at a 1 count. Much needed there, and the Man Crusher very fortunate that her other half was there to break that one up, but he's done for the ring for now. Oh, big moonsault there, hooks the leg. This might be it to defend the titles. 2. Oh, she somehow gets her shoulder up. I don't know how the Man Crusher's doing this. Where's the energy coming from? Where's the enthusiasm coming from? She's driven and determined not to let the Assassin beat her. Will the Assassin be able to deal with the emotional, mental calculations, knowing that he's never been able to beat the Man Crusher? Oh, the Man Crusher there again, avoiding the shoulder charge, seeing it coming out of the way over the top rope. Good swift move from the Man Crusher, gets him out of the corner now, and oh, rams him into the boot in the corner there, right off the little boot, little star jump there as well, spins him around onto the shoulders. The power on display from the Man Crusher here, lifting what is a 400-pound man, drops him in the corner like he's nothing, and drop kicks him right in the corner as well. Vicious drop kick, goes for the cover now. 1, 2, and kick out at 2. Big Bird with a little bit left there, but she knows now maybe that momentum swung once again. It's all over the case here. Massive spinning heel kick, driving him down, and a shot to the ankle. She's going to look to tag in her partner here. She's let the Big Bird roll out of the ring and recover. I'm not so sure that's wise. Sends the Assassin off the edge of the apron here, and now she's going to look to get the tag in with a measure of separation here. Does indeed. They need to get the CEO back in the ring and pin him. He's back to his feet. The Torpedo seems willing to let him go, fall to his feet, but he dives out of the ring. Poor timing again, and now the CEO can go after his misses here whilst he's dazed and confused on the outside. He suicide dived out of the second rope, mistimed it horribly, trying to rely on the KEW fans here, and went for the spear, but again he's mistimed it, and the Torpedo gets hold of him, spikes him with that DDT, goes for the cover. 1, 2, not even a 2. The Assassin up off the apron there, ran back into the ring. You can see the Man Crusher doesn't know what day of the week it is, but now the Torpedo might be able to put Big Bird away from the top rope here, ladies and gentlemen. Diving elbow, misses completely. Big Bird's back up, and he looks woozy now as well. Everybody's a measure of dazed and confused in this one. The Assassin's probably the freshest man. He's going to tag in the Man Crusher here, and has the Man Crusher got enough left to deal with the Big Bird in the ring? He's had a long time to recover. I said that was a long time. Went for the kick, caught it at the last second. Now Big Bird scoops her up, slams her down onto her spine, and will this be the eventual swing that we needed, telling her to get back to her feet? He's ready and waiting in the corner. Diving spear there, takes care of the Man Crusher. Is this going to be enough here? Broken up at the last second by the Torpedo before the referee started his count. A slow count incoming there, but now here comes the Assassin, and surely this has got to be the mental swing the Assassin needed. The Man Crusher looks spent in the middle of the ring here, rolls the Assassin over, the shot to the ankle there, and goes for the moonsault. But she sees it coming again, rolls out of the way of it. He can't hit her. There's absolutely nothing the Assassin can do to get close to her. Throws the Assassin across the ring, and gets a tag into the Torpedo. Smart tag from the Man Crusher, and the Torpedo Hurricanrana down to the ground immediately. Get the Torpedo in, let him absorb some damage, let the Man Crusher rest, and one final tag here, and this might be enough to get it done from either team. The Assassin has hold of the Torpedo in the corner, face busters him out of the corner, and he's split open. There's multiple people bleeding now. I think the CO's bleeding, I think the Assassin's bleeding. The Man Crusher's the only one who's not got claret dripping from her face other than her bright red lips, now tucked into the legs of the CO. Massive power bomb there, almost power bombed him through the ring, but he pushes him off at the last second. Again, the CO slow. We said that he's not been wrestling for many a weeks, had a warm-up match, but was caught a little cold here, it seems. This will be a none needed championship endeavour that these two men have had to go on. The Falcon and the Eagle goes for the cover now, does the Torpedo, gets a 2-3, we've got new tag champions. I didn't think that was going to be it, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. New tag champions, new KEW tag champions. She's set a new record, ladies and gentlemen, the first athlete to be the KEW champion, to be the KEW tag team champion. She's a double champion. It'll be the Man Crusher and the Torpedo taking on the Coven for the tag team titles at the main pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. The Falcon and the Eagle relinquish their titles. Incredible stuff here. Really incredible what we've seen. I can't believe it. I'm a little bit speechless. Thank you for watching this dumbfounding episode of the KEW. What a rise to stardom the Man Crusher has had. She's now the double champion, back-to-back championship matches, back-to-back victories, and a new double champion in the KEW. Join us next week, ladies and gentlemen, for KEW Live and the main pay-per-view, of course, where at least the Man Crusher will be defending one of those belts. We'll see you there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.